Can you possibly help Jazar? You are new, yes? Have you mastered the expert-level distraction spells yet? You have? Already? Well, Jazargo is surprised. And pleased. There is a real competition here. This is good. Oh, but you are wrong. The only reason you can disagree is because you are losing so badly you cannot see it. There is much for Jazargo to be sure of. There is skill in magic, there is charm, and there is a strong will. Jazargo will be successful. Of this there is no doubt. Jazargo has seen that Toftir likes you. You must be very skilled with magic, yes? Jazargo is working hard, but cannot do it alone. Can you help with this? Jazargo has worked hard on learning new spells, trying new things. This will make Jazargo stand out as a mage. But Jazargo works so hard, there is no time to test these new spells. If you help with the testing, this will make learning easier. Jazargo will give you scrolls. You will use them and report the results. This is a good plan, no? You tell Jazargo when you are ready. You can resist, can you? Let's see. This one, I think. Jazargo has designed it to be an excellent flame cloak, with a twist. It is especially potent against the undead, and should burn them to a crisp in no time. Jazargo gives you plenty of these scrolls, so you try them and return when you can say whether they work. Jazargo awaits word of how well his scrolls work.
Good to see you. Even with the college's laid-back attitude, there are still some things that are off-limits. There are some experiments the college frowns on, if they're aware of them, of course. Oh my, how precious. Onmund is too afraid to deal with me himself, and so he's sent you. I'll make this very simple for you. All my trades are final. Onmund knew this ahead of time and went through with it anyway. So there's nothing more to be said. Look how persistent you are. It's charming, really. Onmund gave up the first time I said no, but not you. All right, I'll tell you a little story. Let's pretend for a moment that a certain individual was looking to acquire a particular staff. Let's also pretend that he traded some valuable items for said staff. And it was only later that it was realized that this individual might misuse such a staff. The resulting disaster would reflect quite poorly on everyone involved. Are you following me? You're not very good at this, are you? Look, I traded a staff to someone and found out later that was a bad idea, so I'd like the staff back. Understand now? It's an entirely different situation. I don't expect you to comprehend the nuances of these matters. Regardless, I'm making you a very simple offer. You get me the staff, and I give you Onmund's precious amulet. Do we have a deal?
Yes, I just thought perhaps you'd have come across something like this before.
Yes. I thought we'd gotten past that bit already. Onmund's amulet in exchange for my staff.
Sorry to...
Finally, we have an agreement. I look forward to having it back soon. The sooner the better, in fact. All right, then.
I'm not sure what just happened, but I assure you I will get to the bottom of it.
Good to see Skyrim still has such fine people. You give an old man hope. I have no idea, but it's fascinating. Assuming it's true, of course. The Isle of Artaeum disappeared over 100 years ago, and no one has seen them since. And yet now, suddenly, they've chosen to contact you. Why, it's intriguing. If nothing else, I'd take it as a compliment. The Psijics have only ever dealt with those they feel worthy. Well, I suppose he wouldn't mind. It was all before my time, you understand. I've heard the stories, the same as anyone else. He was a brilliant student, an accomplished wizard, delved into magic in a way none had seen before. But I think he became too focused on just how much power he could acquire. That's what led to the accident. Do you remember what I first told you? About how not being able to control magic could destroy you? I didn't simply mean it could kill you. The Augur's accident is another very real type of a life destroyed. Well, it's been described as an accident. I can't imagine it was intentional. Something must have gone wrong, and he ended up in the state he's in now, fused to the energies that flow through the college. I've never felt it appropriate to ask him about how that must feel. Or I suppose, if he can feel at all. Take a look. Take care now.
If you have a moment, could you help me with something? Didn't you know? Before the Oblivion Crisis, many elves called Winterhold their home. More visited the college from Morrowind every year. After, growing distrust of magic made life difficult for many. Some left rather than endure the growing hatred from the local Nords. Others returned home after the Red Year, when Vardenfell erupted and caused much destruction. Winterhold itself died in the years between then and now. What's left out there is a husk. Only the college really remains. We're all trying to become better mages, right? Well, I need someone I can practice a few spells on. Nothing dangerous, really. Would you be willing to assist me? Oh, good. I was afraid I'd have to go ask J'zargo. Now, you just stand there. Please hold still, and don't move.
J'zargo.
There! Now I... Oh dear. That wasn't supposed to happen. Do you feel all right? You look very, green. I am so very sorry. I went over this again and again, and I was sure it would have better results. It's not. It shouldn't be. You'll be back to normal in no time. And when you are, we can try this again, and I'll be sure to get it right. I know I don't like the way he looks at me. I can't tell if he expects me to blow myself up or to try and murder him, but he clearly doesn't trust any of us. So far, if only because no one is telling me how great I ought to be. I just want to learn. I don't want to think about what's expected of me.
Yes.
All right then.
I'm working on some very important research, I assure you. He asked far too many questions about my research. I think the Thalmor are trying to steal my work. I haven't told him anything, of course. What I'm doing is far too important. Can't breathe a word of it. He asked far too many questions about my research. The exact nature of my research. You mean the official sort of business? Well, no, not really. But I can't help but notice that you're doing quite well for yourself, rising through the ranks and all. It may not be official, but there is a project I've been working on. I wonder if perhaps you could assist with it. Yes. No, I don't think so. Not at this point. It's just that, well, I'm not even really sure it's going to amount to anything just yet. All theoretical right now, you understand? But the implications are quite intriguing, I think. I simply need some experimental results to just 10 of them should be enough for me to get a better understanding of how they work.
Even with the college's laid
Please
back
don't bother the
attitude,
Archmage
there are
unless
still
it's
some
absolutely
things
necessary.
that are off limits.
I think the college is due for a change in leadership.
Don't trust that one. He's up to something. Most here are up to something, of course, but in his case, it's not good. I haven't figured it out yet, but I will. He is rather handsome, though, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
No one's heard from the Physic Order in so many years. Hard to believe one would just suddenly show up here. I'd better get going. Oh, good. I was really afraid I'd lose it forever. All right, then.
I'm working on some very important research. I simply need more pieces of Dwemer equipment to study. It's nothing dangerous, at least not necessarily. And please, let's keep this between